Hello, CNG 124. Welcome to Monday of week 11. We only have about 4 more weeks to go before we get to the end of the year. Actually, about 5 because we do have Thanksgiving still. But I do my best to try not to give you guys homework over there. But I do not I do not recommend just taking a vacation and forgetting about everything. I do recommend that you at least pick up packet tracer or something and just keep stuff in your head fresh as we move on. So this week as I read through the discussions, let's go back. This week as I read through the discussions, everything looked well. There was a lab issue, but realize that when you're working with your lab, you have to enter things very, very correct. Here's my whiteboard. I don't know if it's too visible, but I would start drawing out networks. I'll try to hold this up a little bit closer. And later on this week, probably do example on my surface. But this way, this way, this way. So I draw the entire network like that, just like it is on the front page of the labs. And then I say, okay, here's a section where I have the IP addresses. It tells me what to assign, so I need to start putting that down on the very top page of that lab, or I need to write my own topology to make sure all that information works. So I'll start filling it in and say, this week we worked with one IP address and we divided that 4 times. So then I'll draw a little picture and say, okay, you know what? The pi format works good for me. So I'm going to draw my little pi format right there by my finger. And I'm going to say, okay, now since I know I have a 64 addresses in each one, I got to come up with a numbering scheme that says 0 to 63, 64 to would be 127, and then 128 to 191, and then 192 to 255. So now I have an idea of what my subnet are going to look like. And when I go to put this into a network, I have to make sure that I say, you know what? Okay, my first usables has to be the gateway, so I know on one it's going to be 0.1 because I cannot use 0. There's the network address. So that means my network address is going to be 0. My computer, well, it can't be over 100. It can't even be past 63. So I can put my computer at 10. Should be safe. For the serial networks, they usually go numerical back to back. So if I do 60, say .64 would be my subnet or my network address, and then that would be 65, and 66 would be there, and then let's see the other one, 128. So that's my network address. 129 is my default gateway, and then we can add 10 more and say 139 would be my router. So I have gone and created, there we go, all my information, put it, well, maybe not all of it, I'm still missing some, one, there we go, that's right. So now that's all the information that I have that I now put towards, I put into production. You know, I say, okay, this is right. I looked at it. It seems right. I did my math. I did my pi. I need to enter this now in Packet Tracer. So then I go about doing my Packet Tracer steps. And remember that all these labs start to build on 15 up to this week. But remember, troubleshooting starts very, very small. Don't try to troubleshoot something very, very big. Just do pings until you figure out where you're stuck, and then if you can't get out, you narrowed it down to a place in the router where you really need to look at and expand further. This week, I believe there's just a little bit of reading. okay, we do CIDR, NAT, VLSM, and learn more about the transport layer. So far, we've been wasting huge amounts, well, not huge amounts, large amounts of networks, even though that we have just 2 at the top here. We're wasting 60 some odd, 60, right? Yeah, 60 other IP addresses. This week we work on breaking that down farther, and we use one IP address like we did last week, but now we're going to modify the subnet mask to only give us specific amounts that pertain to specific number of addresses. VLSM is variable length subnet mask, so we use the same network address, or I should say the same IP address, the /24, and we can keep on reusing it to give us more subnets that are custom fit. I think that makes the most sense. So we will not be wasting a lot. We get that subnets exact on. When you get to the homework for this week, where are we at? Assignments. Lab 18 and Lab 19. I forget what 18 is. So this would be applying VLSM to this scenario. We see we have 28 users, 50 users, 24 users, 12 users, 8 users. And if we say, okay, so to fit 50 we need 64, to fit 28 we need 32, to fit 24 we still need 32, to fit 12 we need 16, then we get 8. Well, we really can't go down to 8 because that'd only give us 6 usable, so we have to go, okay, we have to use 16 again. But then remember, that's not all the subnets. Each individual link on the serial ports is also a subnet. So on this one too, oh, my lines got real crazy there. Okay, but they're supposed to be connected. I don't know what happened there. So this line's supposed to go to here, and remember to count out your number of subnets. We know that circles are routers, and we know that the lines are the end users. So make sure you count out the subnets. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So make sure that's the first step you do is count out the subnets. Yeah, don't forget the serial links. Complete the table. Show your work below on the attached sheet. Got a typo there. But make sure you, at this point, I would make sure you're going from largest capacity to smallest capacity. Your serials should be at the bottom. They're easiest to count. Your large ones at the top, just so you don't make mistakes. I think I got this date wrong. It should be the 4th. So make sure you mind these dates. That one looks wrong. So when we look at this one, count the subnets. Make sure we have enough subnets. Make sure you're naming the routers at this point. And then you start to transition this information. Like I said, I'm giving you things, but you should start to transition here or writing on the lab and then transition it to packet tracer so you have an easier time troubleshooting. And this one's only 3 pages long, which actually looks only 2 pages long. Not a whole lot of information again. I'm trying to get you to learn how to enter the correct data in your head. Well, I should say memorize entering the correct data. This stuff will all be due Sunday. So have a good kickoff. I'll start. Packet tracer is always a little bit slow for me because I have to go to the lab and grade it. It's the only place I have packet tracer. But I will start getting those grades in on packet tracer.